I appreciate what you represent on social media. I think that social media can be a place of inspiration and powerful tools to connect with people. And I think so often we kind of see it used in a way to kind of attack people. And I feel like God strategically aligned this moment when the world was going to need to feel love and leadership, and you emerge and have become everyone's just safe space in a really challenging season. What has that been like for you?
Thank you, honey, for saying that. It's been amazing. I'm thankful to be put in this position. I never asked for it, right?
Yeah.
I never thought in a million years I would be known as the way I am. But I'm thankful for it, and it has been an incredible ride. I've been doing videos now, something I never wanted to do, never thought about doing.
Really?
No, girl. I'm an actor. So I used to think, oh, people who did videos as actors, you're not taken serious. So I was afraid to do videos. I thought, nah, I'll never do that. And the only reason I started doing it is because I had a dream and prayed, and God told me to start doing videos. Literally, the only reason I started. And that was
Mm.
almost 3 years ago. Um, and I never would have imagined the doors He's opened to me doing videos. But I'm so thankful that He chose me for this moment and for this purpose. And that's how I look at it. I look at it like a responsibility,
Yeah.
and I enjoy every moment of it.
I totally get that responsibility aspect of it. For me, sometimes it feels like I'm like looking at my life from the outside looking in, because in
Mm,
many ways I still feel like the girl who didn't pray for any of the things that happened to her, and God breathed on it and it became something that is so beyond me that I just know it's God. Do you ever feel like that? Like the way that your life transitioned and changed? And you've been transparent on social media about just like where you were in some of the more darker seasons of your life. And now you're experiencing this moment. Have you been able to like mentally and emotionally keep up with the pace of how your life has changed?
it's crazy you say that because it's exactly that, right? When you, I was praying very specific prayers, but He was like, "Okay, that's cool, but let me blow your mind," right?
Yeah.
That's what He did. And so, for 22 years, I was pursuing my acting career and trying to entertain and trying to figure it out. And then this happened. But over the course of 22 years, I had so many moments where I thought, oh, this is it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is it. Right. And I wasn't even ready for my this is it moment. I thought
Mm.
I was, but I wasn't. Now, this is it. And it caught me completely off guard. I didn't know this was it.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm ready for it.
Mm.
So I feel more calm. I feel very much so I'm home. Like He worked through me for 22 years to get me to be where I am now. So it didn't, like, He blew my mind, but the moment didn't blow my mind.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? It's kind of like, oh, you did all this work inside of me. You took me through all this, these different journeys to get here and have peace so that I can't be moved by what's happening. I'm grateful for it. I'm so very thankful for it. But now I understand, oh, I'm supposed to be here.
That is so good. I preached a message a couple weeks ago, and I talked about how sometimes we think success is about what we gained on the outside, right? So we're always pursuing these outside things like I want to get this award, I want to get this check, I want to get this house. But I really feel like our success is about what takes place inside of us, and when we can acknowledge the growth that's taking place inside of us, then what happens outside of us doesn't even move us because we are so proud of who we have become on the inside that the extension of that is just what happens in our external lives. And I feel like that's what you're saying.
Absolutely. Because, for a long time, I was doing things not being me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I wasn't even free.
Yeah.
How am I thinking something's going to happen? This is it moment when I ain't even my true self. Thank God it didn't happen back then because I'd have been a lost case.
Mm.
But now I'm free. I live in my free self, in my freedom, as who God created me to be. So now I can really, really enjoy the moment and understand, like, oh, the work He did inside of me, that's what it was all about.
Yeah. Who you
Yeah.
are becoming. So, like, what is the most, I guess, amazing part of where you are now, and maybe the part that has the most responsibility?
The most amazing part is literally just being able to be myself and be accepted and be loved. And it's an amazing thing to know that I'm enough, right? And to feel it and embrace it and share that with others. And I can't even tell you the feeling that comes over me every day to just be able to be myself and not have to put on a costume.
Yeah.
And that's a, invisible costume that nobody else can see, but I know that, it's a costume, right? But being able to just be me is the best part about all of this. And the thing that is probably the most, I wouldn't say frustrating, but overwhelming is all the new schedule, child.
Yeah.
Even during quarantine, I'm like, look, Lord Jesus, I wake up and look at my calendar because, my team, they put my stuff, they update my calendar as my day goes on. And I'll be like, oh, Lord, this is different, even at home. But I'm thankful. I ain't complaining, but it is, it can be overwhelming sometimes.
For sure. I totally feel that. I was telling someone, I think I'm more busy now that we are on quarantine than I was before, because I think everyone thinks like I'm at home so I can do this. And then all of those things start piling up, and then home is work, and all of that becomes so confusing.
Right. And then on top of that is family.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a mama and a wife, and that is priority for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to make sure that my home is okay first before I start doing things, surrounding my career. So it's a whole lot, I became a homeschool teacher and never was nobody homeschool school. Okay. Now, I became a teacher, Jesus. We pray for my son that we hope he be successful.
He'll be all right. He'll be all right. He needs to know, if you know how to make these videos, you'll be all right. You need to watch what mama's doing.
Mama can show you how to come on in the kitchen and do a video and go cook some stuff. And we'll learn a little bit about that math and stuff. Let me show you things too. But yeah, girl.
That's interesting. You talk about your family. We have 6 kids. We're a blended family. We have 6 kids, and I'm married. And my life has transitioned in the framework of my family, which I think is something really interesting, because women who are maybe listening right now are thinking to themselves, I want to do this and I want to do that, but I don't want to let my family down. And I don't know if my family can transition as I transition. And so they end up putting on that costume even to be in their family, right? To show up in their household, because they don't want to disappoint them, even if that means they can't be authentic to their passion or their purpose or what they feel God is saying them to do. How are you able to navigate your evolution in the context of that part that is important, right? We talk about outside people not being able to handle our transformation, but what do you do when you know it's time for you to transform, but you're in your house and you don't know how to upset the system in order for you to really come out the way that you know you need to?
Well, the thing about that is, for a long time, I would put my kids and my husband first.
Yeah.
Right? And that was not the right thing to do. I had to get to the understanding that I got to be first, right? Because I cannot show up and be the best version of me as a wife, the best version of me as a mom, or as a woman if I don't take care of me first.
Yeah.
So I have to do everything I need to do full. I got to make sure that I'm full first, mentally, physically. I got to feel good so that I can know how to show up. And so now I put me first, make sure that I'm grounded in myself and I know I'm all right. Then I show up and be the best wife and be the best mom. And also understanding that that's not selfish.
Mm-hmm.
It's self-care. Making sure, because our kids can tell when mom ain't right.
For sure.
My husband know when I ain't all the way there. So instead of giving them a limited me, I want to give them all of me, but I got to give me all of me first. Then I can figure it out better. Then I can show up for them and say, okay, now I know how to maneuver because I'm full. And then by the end of the day, I made sure everybody was good and did my stuff with, for my career, and I'm satisfied that way. So that way I don't lose myself in the process.
Don't you feel like self-care is kind of evasive sometimes, because what self-care in one season isn't necessarily self-care in the next season?
Right about that.
Listen, like when I was a single mom, like self-care for me was like when I closed my bedroom doors, the kids were down and I was in the house in my room by myself, and that was self-care. Now I'm married. And so, self-care, I have to be even more intentional about having those moments. What does self-care look like for you?
Absolutely. Well, honey, that closing the door sound real good.
Goodbye. I'm finished. Bye-bye now.
I'm gone. But I love walking. I love like going on a walk. Sometimes I just have to go and be quiet, right? Quiet time. And sometimes I walk the dog. Sometimes I go by myself and just walk with no interruption.
Yeah.
Just me and God. That's my alone time. I talk to Him. I love my meditation time. And you know what? Shower time for me is self care, honey. I'll do
Yes.
honey. Uh, Anytime you may need to release, whether it's happy tears or you're frustrated or you're stressed, in that shower, and I put my little steamers in and have my turn them lights off, burn them candles.
Okay, a
I ain't got no.
thing.
I'll be in the shower, honey, and just let it all just be, and put on a nice little, some little music that makes me calm, and have my good old moment. But like you said, it's different types of self care for different moments in your life, right? Sometimes self care for me is cooking my favorite meal,
Yeah.
like comfort food. And I'll do that and know that, it's my business and I just want this because I want it. And I feel good about it and sit down and enjoy it. So there's all different types of way of self care, like you said. And it just has to be a matter of what fits for your heart, what makes your heart feel good so that you can breathe easy and have your good moment of clarity because that's so important.